Just take your time to fill in the questionnaire here. Okay, she is actually a final year student for her degree, and she is doing her final year project. If you know her, you actually can contact her lah. She is quite a nice person, and she is actually willing to help her junior also. Alright, last week, okay, I have give you a past year question, right? Past year question. Yeah, for information, I received the information. Your final year pula. Your final exam, you not only need to know about the concept, you also need to know how to apply the concept in the slide, in the scenario given. Okay, in a given scenario. Okay, I don't know, now already become a trend. Okay, because it's an online exam, and yes, the management want you guys to, what we call that, apply the concept that you have learned then into a scenario given. So make sure you guys know how you're going to apply the concept in the slide into a scenario, okay. There will be, I have gone through the questions, okay, and I see that the question is not so straightforward lah. Okay, you need to pusing, think a little bit before you answer the question. I will try to help you, okay, means that which part you need to focus before the final exam lah. And from time to time, when I hit the important part, when we are going to cover the important parts, I will try my best to hint you, right? Okay, not sure that have you guys done the past year question here? Okay. Like, this is the past year question. I forgot which year already. Okay, stated that, okay, according to the research that conducted by a senior lecturers, it indicates that 4 significant factors, okay, there will be a 4 significant factors, means that these factors could be the IV, DV, moderating variable or mediating variable, okay, factors that affect student interest to study, okay, or from here we already know, factor that affect student intentions to study, okay. So over here we know, okay, this will be our DV, IV, and over here will be our DV. Okay, usually the question, the research is like this one, okay. They have certain kind of formula or format when they want to write it. Okay, let's say I show you just now the question from the senior, okay. How come disconnected? Oh. I think I was disconnected. Oh, okay. Finally, I'm back already. All right. sorry about the okay, intention use ebook in under what situation during COVID-19 pandemics in Malaysia. Okay, so I already know she's going to investigate what are the factors or what are the DVs going to have a significant influence on the intentions to use ebook here. Okay, that's why at the beginning of the class, I would like to invite you to fill in this question, right? So come back here. Significant factors here will be the DV. Okay, then second one, okay, student quality factors. Number 3 will be the peer motivation, and we expect that, okay, we predict that, we assume that this attitude will be the factors number 4, but we need to finish the sentences first. We identify it will be a DV or IV. We assume that this factor 1, factor 2, okay, but the questions that student and okay, this one is already okay. The research explained that student attitude toward the subject here, okay, is largely depend on other 3 factors mentioned just now. Means that the question trying to tell you attitude, okay, will be influenced by these factors 1, 2, 3. So this factor will not be the, but require as a remember, okay, okay, will influence, yeah, I'm lagging, in what perspective? You can listen my voice first, only my writing or what? I'm sharing my screen, yes. In that cannot hear me clearly, oh my god, let me check. uh, something went wrong. It's okay, I will try to turn on the live caption for all of you here because I received some information, okay, saying that my voice is not so clear over here. I don't think that the caption here. I think something went wrong with my internet connection. I have tried to connect with my data, but still can on hold. All right, just let me know if over my modem already. Okay. So if when we are going to draw a research framework, when we are going to draw the research framework, we will start with those independent variable. In your exam, remember to state down these are the dependent variable on top of those variable. Then mediating variable and dependent variable, remember to step down. Okay, remember to step down. They are categorized or dependent, or else I must force high quality of teaching skill. Okay, you see, student attitude. Okay, just now we already assume that, okay, mediating variable will be our attitude and the attitude. Because stated in the question, this attitude will be variable. So factors of the subject, or we call it as a subject and our ID1. Okay, this is the student quality, their motivation. Okay, these three factors in attitude. Then after that, student interest to study. Okay, student interest to study. You can write to you can choose to just copy back from the question. Okay, student hey, how come? The technology is not so mature yet. Where's the color I not okay? The lecturers must possess a high quality of teaching skill. Okay, we already know. This lecturers' quality teaching skill will be one of the variables in the framework. Okay, it's somewhere around NT tube here because they mentioned about the NT tube. The subject will not be raised. I don't know why. Disconnected. Okay. Word accident. So definitely that's lecturer quality. Okay, then you need to mention this is a model getting variable. Okay. Okay. Remember S or do not have S, huh? Okay, to represent this, so you can understand this question. Okay, definitely, and that I no need to worry about your final exam. Right? Included independent variable, mediating variable, moderating variable. Yes, Michael. Oh my God. I'm quick freezing, but you guys can listen to me and look at the, what we call it, the screen or not.
When you speak, it's also frozen when you're frozen.
I only listen when you speak and then I cannot hear you already. You are frozen. Okay, okay, okay. Let me connect the uh, my one on the phone. Testing, testing. Is it now better? Try to connect to the other's Wi-Fi. Let me know. Is it okay, Michael?
Hello, miss. Now I can hear you, but your video is frozen. I think that's okay.
Video, or I switch on, or I turn off my video so it doesn't look like so lag.
Maybe.
I try to turn off my video and explain to the cast first.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it hope that it will not influence our, what we call it, the slide here. Okay, I will read. I will explain again for this slide due to some technical issues just now. And thank you so much. Okay, I appreciate so much. Okay, for student who brought feedback to me, there is something went wrong with the connection here, or else I will really think that everything went smooth. Right, thank you so much. If in your side you still figure out there's still a frozen or you cannot hear me clearly in your side, please drop me a message. Yeah, okay, please drop me a message. Okay, so sorry about the technical issues, and I would like to re-explain again. Okay, this is the sample questions. Okay, sample actually is a past year question lah. Okay, usually you will see this question in your essay part. Okay, in your essay part. Okay, so according to this question, you have to look at the scenario. Okay, you have to look at the scenario, read through all the what we call that sentences in the scenario. Okay, but some of you have certain kind of way to answer the question. Some of them will go through the question first before they go through the scenario. Okay, this is one of the method. Okay, for example, you can go for, okay, identify the problem statement, or you know that after I go through the scenario, I need to know what is the problem statement. Second, okay, the question also requests you to develop a theoretical framework for the scenario above. Means that you already know that you need to identify what are those IV, DV, moderating variable or mediating variable. Okay, then from the framework that you have just developed, you're going to form a hypothesis, but stated here only 6 hypotheses. Okay, then question number donkey. We are going to discuss the research design based on the 5 criteria given below. Okay, what is the purpose of study, type of investigation, study setting, time horizons, unit of analysis that you have learned in the chapter number, what is this chapter already? Chapter number 5. Okay, so after you go through this question, you already have a basic. What is the things that you're going to answer accordingly to the scenario here? So you can actually go through the scenario. Okay, before I go through the scenario with you guys, can you guys hear me clearly or not? Please drop me a message before I proceed to the scenario.
Can, miss, can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. I was quite worried. Okay, so sorry, I cannot turn on the video. I think something went wrong with my Wi-Fi here. Okay, to prevent the lagging, so I have to turn off the video over here. Okay, so okay, according to the research that have conducted by the senior lecturers, okay, it indicates that 4 significant factors. 4 significant factors here referring to, usually we will assume that these 4 significant factors will be our IV. What is IV? Independence variables. Okay, these significant factors that will affect, okay, affect student interest. Okay, when there is the term of affect or influence or impact, okay, follow in the behind one should be usually normal cases will be the DV, dependent variable. Hey, wait, technical issue. Just now Wi-Fi issue, then now technical issue. Okay, DV. Okay, student interest to study, we assume that will be our DV. Okay, then which are attractiveness of the subject? Okay, what are those 4 factors here? Okay, 4 factors here we have. First, we assume that this is IV1. IV1, attractiveness of the subject. Okay, will be the attractiveness of the subject. Then second IV, we assume that will be the student quality. IV3, peer motivations, and NTQ, I assume that this is IV4. Okay, if the question stop over here, then this NTQ will be IV4. But the scenario not yet finished. We need to continue to read. Okay, to investigate that, to identify that whether these 4 factors are they really a DV or not, or there is another cases, should be moderating variable or should be a mediating variable. Okay, then we continue to read. Okay, the research explained the student attitude. Why over here suddenly mention about the student attitude here, okay, means that something went wrong with the entity already. It might not be the DV anymore. Okay, because they purposely mentioned about the attitude. Attitude toward the subject is largely dependent on other three variables. You see? Oh, sorry, other three factors. Okay, means that dependent on other three variables. So means that this IV1 attractiveness of the subject, student quality and motivations, peer motivations going to influence the attitude because the questions, the scenario stated the sentences like this. Okay, so over here we cannot assume that this is the IV4 anymore. Okay, because this will be impacted by the other three factors. Right? Then some more, however, to harness the student attitude, still talking about student attitude. Okay, the lecturer must possess high quality of teaching skill, means the lecturer quality lah. Okay, talk about the attitude, means that the question trying to tell you some things are going to influence the relationship between the attitude and the student interest to study. Okay, must possess a high quality of teaching skill. If not, student interest toward the subject will not be raised. So we know that from these sentences is going to influence the relationship between attitude and the and the student interest to study. Okay, basically, okay, I repeat again. Okay, I think that just now something went wrong with the screen also. Okay, usually when people want to draw a research framework, or we call it as a theoretical framework, we will have the independent variable. Independent variable. We have the mediating variable. Usually no S, usually we have one mediating variable only. Then dependent variable. Okay, normal cases is like this. We will have a few independent here. Okay, we will have few independent here. Independent variable here. Okay, draw a line to touch your mediating variable. Then after that, another line to touch your dependent variable. Okay, in your exam, okay, if let's say really come out with some sort like this, okay, remember to draw the arrow here. Remember to draw the arrow and touch all the boxes here. Okay, because let me tell you, your vetter, your second marker, actually very strict on this. Okay, she is very strict on this matter. I try my best to draw the cantik suisi one for all of you. Okay, because I think something went wrong in my writing pad also. Okay, the technology is not so mature yet. Okay. Normally, the concept is like this. Okay. Then, what you're going to do, when you understand the concept for you to develop a theoretical framework or the research framework, and accordingly to the information that you have over here, okay, then you just plug in, okay, plug in the variable that you have identified in your scenario in the framework here, okay, in the framework here. Later in another slide, I will show you the answer, okay. So over here, independent variable, we know that I'm going to fill in this attractiveness of the subject. It is my IV1. You need to write down one in your exam. So over here will be your student quality. Then over here, IV3 will be your peer motivation. Add as your IV3. Mediating variable here. Just now I mentioned to you, they keep mentioning about amplitude. Amplitude, okay, will largely depend on the other three variable. Okay, will depend on the others variable. So over here, I know it. This amplitude will act as a mediating variable in this scenario. Okay, then after that, don't forget about the question. Usually in the first sentences or second sentences, they will mention to you what is the DV already. So student interest to study or interest toward the subject also can both also accepted. Interest are the most important thing is the interest to study. Okay, will act as the DV. So write down the DV here. But don't forget that. Okay, don't forget that there will be, in this scenario, we have one moderating variable here. Okay, one moderating variable here. Okay, if you still remember how to draw the moderating variable, it should touch the line. It will not touch any box for those moderating variable. Okay, moderating variable. It will not touch any boxes in the research framework. It only touch all the line. We call it as a moderating variable. Moderating variable. Okay, so in these cases, moderating variable will be the lecturer quality. Okay, lecturer quality. Because you see in the question here, okay, however, to harness the attitude, the student attitude here, the lecturer must possess high quality of teaching skill here. If not, student interest to study, student interest study is here so we know that you should draw a line over here. We call it as a moderating variable. Okay, so this will be your research framework. Okay, usually when students go through the scenario, okay, you can directly draw up the research framework or theoretical framework first before you answer other questions. Okay, you must fully understand what is the scenario trying to tell you. Only you can answer the other question accordingly to the theoretical framework that you have just developed accordingly to the scenario. Okay, this is the best way lah. Okay, or else if you look at the problem statement first, oh my god, what is the problem? Okay, first thing, you just ignore everything first. You draw out the theoretical framework first, only you answer the other question. This is my advice for you. Okay, this is my advice for you. Okay, then once you have drawn your research framework, you have come up with your own research framework, then you can start to answer the question already. And for your information, based on my understanding, if there's no mistake, okay, your exam only have mediating or moderating variable only. Okay, either this or this, I cannot remember. Okay, I cannot remember, but both of these will not appear together. I try to hint you. Okay, I try to hint you here. Only I forgot mediating. You will see mediating variable or either you will see moderating variable in your exam only. Okay, based on the scenario provided. Okay, if let's say you are able to answer this question, I no need to worry about you when you're answering your final exam already. Okay, from time to time you can drop me a message in the chat box here so that I can know your what we call that your situation or any concern from you. Okay, I will monitor the meeting chat in my another screen here since I am not able to turn on my video so far. Okay. Okay, now we are going to continue with the problem statement. Identify the problem statement. Once you have developed this framework, okay, you are going to what we say that no need to worry so much already. Okay, so identify the problem statement. Usually, okay, usually in the concept we will write, okay, what are the factors influence DV? Okay, bear in mind what are the factor or specific factors influencing your DV in your question. Then put a big question mark. Remember to put question mark. Yes. Ryan, you have anything to share? Oh, you forgot to unmute yourself. Okay, over here, when you write the problem statement, When you ask the what, remember put a question mark here. Okay, if you forgot to put question mark, no marks for you. Okay, for you to get complete mark for the problem statement, remember put a question mark. Okay, what are the factors influencing DV? Okay, so let's say you see this kind of question. Just now, you already know that, okay, what is my DV already? My DV will be the student interest to study. Okay, I try to slow down a little bit. Then you will write in the sentences. Okay, what, still start with what? What are the specific factors? You can write what are the factors or what are the specific factors to be considered in stimulating students' interest toward the study. Okay, you see, you just copy back. Student interest to study. Copy back the DV in your question. Okay, you can write something like this. Okay, there are many ways for you. The most important thing is I want to see what are the factors influencing the student interest to study. Big question mark. That one also accepted. Okay, because after you have done your what we call that final exam, you're going to put inside the Turnitin, right? Okay, so there are many ways for you to write, but the formula, okay, I teach you the formula or the concept, you just go and memorize also can. Okay, you just write what are the factors influencing your DV. DV you can get from the scenario. Okay, you just write like this and don't forget to write a big question mark. Okay, don't forget to write a question mark when you're answering the question problem statement. Remember to write the question mark. Okay, so this will be your answer for your question 8. Let me know if I'm too fast or you have anything concern. Okay. Second question, B. Develop a theoretical framework for the scenario above. No need to worry already. You already done your framework here. You just copy inside. Okay. Subject attractiveness, student quality, peer motivation. Okay, actually there's a trap over here. Okay, students who are able to score a better mark in this research framework, don't forget to write independent variable. Remember to write an S here. Okay, show us that you understand. Subject attractiveness, student quality, peer motivations is categorized under independent variable. Then draw a line. Okay, attitude. Okay, you already know. This will be your mediating variable. When you draw out this, some of the students over-excited because they know how to answer the question, but he or she forgot to write, oh, this is categorized under mediating variable. Write down this is mediating variable. You just assume that the one who marked your paper, they don't know everything. Okay, write mediating variable, then interest toward the subject, okay, will be your dependent variable. Write down dependent, no S, variable. Okay, write down dependent variable to show that you know that this interest toward the subject is dependent variable. Okay, even after you have drawn it, but show us you know that they are categorized under which variable. Then lecturer quality. You can write lecturer quality or copy back. Okay, high quality of teaching skill also can. Okay, quality of teaching skill also accepted. Then show us you know that this is more the rating variable. Okay, show us you understand. This is one of the tips for you to score all the marks in the question. Okay, you just write down everything. Okay, remember moderating variable, the line here will not touch any boxes. The line only touch the other line. Okay, so this is the theoretical framework. Okay, this is the theoretical framework for question B. Okay, can follow or not? once you have developed the theoretical framework, then yes, Michael, I think you have anything to share, is it? Okay. Student will develop the theory, develop the hypothesis accordingly to the theoretical framework. Yes. Okay, usually student will develop the hypothesis accordingly to the theoretical framework they have just developed. Okay. Develop any 6 hypotheses from a theoretical framework in B. Okay, means that B equation you already draw the theoretical framework here. Then any 6 hypotheses. Of course, in this equation, okay, yes, anyone have anything to share? Is it I listen something? I got listen something. All right. So usually from this question theoretical framework, we know that okay, it will have more than 6 hypotheses here. Okay, hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2, hypothesis 3, hypothesis 4, and don't forget we have mediating. Hypothesis 5, hypothesis 6, hypothesis 7, hypothesis number 8. We have total 8 hypotheses here. Okay, we have total of 8 hypotheses in this theoretical framework. Okay, normal cases, if you can see this 4 hypothesis, 5 hypothesis is very good already. But there's a hidden hypothesis, means that mediating hypothesis here. I repeat, hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2, hypothesis 3, hypothesis 4, hypothesis 5, independent variable, mediating variable, dependent variable will form one hypothesis. Student quality, attitude, and interest toward the subject will form another hypothesis. Okay, peer motivations, attitude, then interest to the subject toward the subject will form another hypothesis. And moderating variable moderate the relationship between mediating and dependent variable will form another hypothesis. Okay, accordingly to the theoretical framework just now. Wait, I show you in another way, so it's easier for you to refer. Okay, it will be easier for you. Okay, like so over here, okay. Just now we said that this is IV ma, mediating variable ma, DV ma, and then this will be a moderating variable. Okay, so over here, hypothesis 1. Okay, subject attractiveness, IV 1, will positively affect student attitude. Okay, hypothesis 1, student attitude toward the subject. Right, outcome. Okay, you need to tell me what is the relationship between the variable. Okay, the relationship between the two variable. Okay, you also can write there is a relationship between subject attractiveness and attitude. Okay, toward the subject also can. Okay, you see, attitude toward the subject, just copy back. Okay, just copy back. Usually we will write how the IV going to influence the DV in terms of hypothesis. IV1, IV2, influence DV, IV3. Usually we will write like this. Okay, there is a significant relationship between IV1 and DV. Also can. Okay, there is a positively there's a positively relationship between IV1 and DV, also can accepted. Okay, you want to write IV will positively affect another variable. It could be DV, it could be a mediating variable, also accepted. There are many ways for you to write the hypothesis. Okay, no worry, there are many ways for you to write the hypothesis. For example, you want to write subject, attractiveness, has a positive effect on student attitude toward the subject. Full stop. Remember to put full stop. This one also accepted. Okay, remember, okay, just bear in mind, you need to have a linkage between two variables. Two variables, and how you're going to write this arrow in the sentences, you have to write has a positive effect on or will positively affect. Both also accepted. Okay, also accepted. Okay, you want to write there is a relationship between IV1 and DV or another variable, also can. Okay, both also accepted because you have learned in these chapters there is a directional hypothesis and no directional hypothesis. Both also accepted in your cases. Okay, you want to make the things easy, you just remember has a positively effect. Okay, what have a positive effect on what? Full stop. That's it. Confirm you can score. Okay, you see H2. Student quality, IV2, will positively affect. You see the same thing, positively affect student attitude toward the subject here, the mediating variable. H3, peer motivation will positively affect student attitude toward the subject here. You see everything is the same. You just need to remember what positively effect or has a positively effect on what sector. But look at the question, it's a positive or negative lah. Okay, usually it's a positive effect. Attitude, okay. Now we continue. We have done this hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2, and hypothesis 3. We continue with the mediating variable. We want to see the relationship between the variable. So H4, okay, H4 here. Attitude as a mediating variable will positively affect. You see here the same thing. Positively affect DV. Okay, student interest toward the subject. Okay. Can you guys, what we call it, hear me or not? I think just now something went wrong again. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. I try my best. Even there's quite a lot of barrier or technical issue here. Okay, will positively impact. You see, the things is actually the same. Will positively impact. Will positively impact. Affect. Will positively affect. Okay. Will positively affect between the variable. I don't care you are the DV, IV, mediating variable, okay, but I will write will positively affect. Will positively affect. This will positively affect. Okay, this box will positively affect this box. This box will positively affect this box. If you remember this concept, this formula, okay, definitely you will score in your final exam. Okay, or you want to write you think that, oh, many students already write. How come? You see that many students will write will positively affect. Then you can write has a positively affect on. Okay? This this variable has a positive effect on this. This has a positive effect on this. This variable has a positive effect on this. Okay, same concept. Okay, then after that, we are going to upgrade ourselves. How to write the mediating variables hypothesis? Okay, first we are going to start with the mediating variable. What's the green color? Mediating variable. Start with the mediating variable. Amplitude will mediate it. Okay, mediate the relationship. Copy back all these sentences. Okay, will mediate the relationships between subject attractiveness and the DV. Subject attractiveness and student interest toward the subject. Okay, if you can realize it, actually they just plug in all the mediating variable here in the hypothesis 1 to hypothesis 4. Okay, they just use the another sentences to represent or to write the mediating variable. You see, I use other color. I use other color. We're mediating the relationship between. We're mediating the oops. We're mediating the relationship between. We mediated the relationship between. Okay. Amplitude is the mediating variable. So you just write amplitude. Amplitude will mediate the relationship between the IV1 and the DV, student interest of study. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. This is not part under 1 to 4. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Okay. And then case number 6, hypothesis 6. If you write H6 also accepted. You write hypothesis in your exam or 6. Sorry, hypothesis 6 in your exam also accepted. Okay. Amplitude will mediate the relationship between the IV2 here and interest toward the study. Okay. DV. Amplitude will mediate the relationship between peer motivation, this IV3, and your DV. Okay, this is the concept or the way how you're going to develop your hypothesis. Okay, then wait. Yeah, okay. Okay, number 8, we are going to write about the moderating variables hypothesis. Lecturer quality. You still start with the moderating variable. Okay, start with the moderating variable. Okay, lecturer quality will moderate. Will moderate the relationship between student attitude here, because the line draw over here so it only have a linkage between the attitude and interest to study. Okay, and it will moderate the relationship between the mediating variable and also the DV. Okay, if you know how to get use of the formula, I use the term formula here. Okay, when you're going to create a relationship between IV, DV, or relationship between the mediating variable and also the dependent variable and mediating variable and moderating variable, if you know to get use of all these sentences, okay, definitely you can score in your final exam. Okay, can? Let me know if you have any concern here or any thing went wrong with my side here. Okay. Then after that, final part. Okay, final part. The question, 5 criteria given and give your reason for your choice. You need to justify. That's why just now I mentioned it's quite a challenging. Okay, but you need to know the theory, you need to know the concept, then apply in your final exam. Apply into your final exam. If you know how to answer this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 question, then I don't need to worry about you already. Okay, make sure you know how to answer the purpose of study, type of investigation, study setting, type horizons, and unit of analysis. Okay, yeah. Accordingly to these chapters. Okay, you must understand, oh, exploratory study is what? Then how am I going to apply to the scenario given? Okay, is the scenario categorized under, for example, exploratory, descriptive, hypothesis, or case study? You need to understand the meaning, then apply in the scenario given here. Okay, not only that, you also need, for example, know what is type of investigation. Yeah, purpose of study. We got so many purpose of study is categorized under which type. You need to know, okay? So over here. Okay, purpose of study. Okay, you need to identify what is the purpose of this study based on the scenario given. Okay, after you draw this framework, we know that you're going to test the hypothesis. Okay, you're going to test the hypothesis. So the answer is hypothesis testing. When you write down the hypothesis testing is not enough, you need to explain. Okay, usually people will explain accordingly to the definition, and bear in mind, okay, you have to use your own word, okay, to write the definition or your explanation. Okay, don't copy bulat-bulat or just copy paste from the slide. Your vetter, your second marker is very, very strict on this matter. The management also want to touch on this matter. So avoid just copy from the slides. Use your own word to write. If you say that this is under hypothesis testing, then tell me. Hypothesis tell me offer an enhanced understanding on the relationship that exists among the variable. Oh yeah, I want to investigate the relationship between the variable. Okay, you want to understand the relationship that exists among the variable as you have stated in the theoretical framework in question B. Use your own word to write. Then type of investigation. We have learned. We got so many type of investigations. But what kind of investigations that you're going to use? Okay, in this scenario, we are going to investigate the correlational study. Okay, then you will write, oh, the researcher or the senior lecturers here, or the senior lecturer, this senior lecturer will be the researcher lah. Hey, technical issue, ignore this. Okay, next time if I have money, then I'm going to upgrade my writing pad. Ayo, very expensive lah. Okay, then the researcher or the senior lecturer examine the relationship. Correlational study, we are going to investigate the relationship. Someone forgot to unmute yourself. Is it? Please check. Okay. Interest to examine, or you want to write to investigate, to identify, it depends on you. Okay. Examine the relationships among the variables associated to the problem. Okay. Plug in the definition. Use your own way to write it. Setting, study setting. Okay. This is fall under field experiment. Okay. This one you will get, I think, 1 mark. I'm not sure, or 0.5 marks. This one definitely you will get the marks. Then explain. Okay. Study can be conducted to establish cause and effect relationship. One variable will create another effect to another variable. Cause and effect relationship using the same natural environment with moderate interference from researcher by manipulate the variable. Okay. What I can say is to avoid just copy from the slide, you can refer to many textbook or others internet sources. Time of horizon for this study is more to the cross-sectional study. They will just collect the data on one time. They will not collect the data this year, next year, and the following year. No, you are going to collect the data one time on this batch of students only. So it will categorize under cross-sectional study. Means that the data collected at one point, you explain what is cross-section study. Okay, the data collected at one point in time was sufficient or enough for the research purpose. Full stop. The last one, what is the unit of analysis? Individual. You're going to investigate the student, individual. Okay, all the individual. So you will write individual. Okay, student. Who is the individual? Students are recruits in the study. Means student will act as a respondent for this study. Full stop. Okay. If you're able to answer these questions accordingly to the scenario provided, then it will be very safe for you already. Okay. So train yourself, okay, to answer this kind of question. Okay, try to understand the scenario, then answer the question accordingly to the scenario. Okay, but the main thing is you must understand the concept first. Okay, you must understand the concept first before you answer the question. Okay, before you answer the question, you must know what is causal study, correlational study, or type of investigation should be fall under causal study or correlational study. Okay, I need to look at the scenario first, then only I can decide. Okay, for example, the question asks, what is the purpose of study? Okay, purpose of study, we got 4 purpose here. So accordingly to the scenario given, I should write descriptively or hypothesis. Okay, so you must understand what is the purpose here before you apply in the scenario given. Okay, can follow? Any questions? Okay, it's okay. Take a break. Okay, take a break. Okay, you can play with this video recording. Okay, I believe that it will help you in your final exam also. Okay, if there's no changes from the anything from the management. Okay, everything will be okay. Okay, you can play back the video afterward. Okay, I'm so sorry about the technical issue also. This morning I'm so appreciate students have feedback to me regarding this matter. Okay, so if there's no question, take up to 5 to 10 minutes break, then we will continue with the following chapter. Right? We are going to continue with the following chapters after the break. I will see you guys later. Right? Take time to digest the question.